Motor Mind. Hey folks, Motor Mind here. So back on the Kia this time, and we're just doing a service. So we're going to start with just doing the basics. I've jacked the front end up. I took the wheels off because I wanted to inspect the brakes and some of the steering and suspension anyways. And I'll kind of show you where we are at this point here. So they'll jack out. Should have jacked it up. Well, kind of a subframe there. Solid piece there. You could use this as well. It's a solid piece as well. But I went back there. And always safety tires just in case. This thing here, unlike the Land Rover, is actually a body on frame, like an old truck, or pickup truck kind of chassis, so it goes all the way back. So it's the chassis rails, right? So on this thing here, you go on the chassis rails, unibody like the Land Rover, or this thing here, you want to go on the lift points, which is on the unibody. This one here, same sort of thing, and I got that there. Just kind of wanted to keep it out of the way. This is on the side of the road, and two, so that was there. So also have that's the show. Chalk the wheels on the back. Let's use some old discs, but they work. So it's just to shock the wheels, even though the vehicle is actually in park. Still checking. So I pulled this out, and it's going to remind me to I need to oil in it. Cracked that a little bit loose. I've let it sit for a while, so all the oil should be drained back down. And we're going to get on. So we'll got my bucket underneath. Just use an old mop bucket because I've got enough room underneath this thing. And we'll get to the pull a drain plug and we'll do the oil filter. I'm also doing the fuel filter on these here. Fuel filter is just underneath there. Bit of a pain to get to, but we'll be doing that as well. I've already done the air filter. Air filter is dead easy on these. Pop the tabs there, there. Pull this up, air filter, and put it back on. Dead easy. And we'll also do pollen filters as well. Pollen filters in Kias are really quite easy. They're behind the glove box, but they designed it that you can drop the glove box down rather easy. The little door comes off. Simple. I'll show you that. Anybody can really do it. Don't even need any tools. So let's get started on this. Alright, so the first thing we're doing is going to drop the oil. And then the oil filter is, she's just kind of, if you can see it, it's just back in here, just above where the, this thing is here. There's an oil leak on this. I think I've traced it down to something, but we'll, that'd be a previous video. So I'll drop the oil here first. And I might need an extension. This is limited access. No. Now, really should be wearing gloves, but don't have any gloves right now. So let's do this the other way. Okay. And just like so. So, in fact, with this being tilted up a little bit, because it's at the back of the oil pad, it's just going to help get more oil out. So let that run down to just a trickle. Actually, a bit less than a trickle. You want to have it so just start dripping out, and put the drain plug in. There's a drain plug. Now, you want to replace on here. There'll be a little gasket. Yeah, so you have it on the camera there. A little gasket right here. It's a copper ring. You want to replace those as well to help seal this when you put this on. Right. Sometimes if they're reused one too many times, they don't want to come off. You gotta get a pair of side cutters on them and cut the boogers off. So we'll go on to that here. Right, so while that's draining, finishing off, we're gonna do the oil filter as well. So you need the oil filter and view there. So like I said, the oil filter is right there. I have the claw, I like these guys, on an extension, and I may not have to use the extension to get up in there. You may have to go. So I got it on there now. It's a bit of a faff. I took the extension off. So hopefully you can kind of see how I've done this. There it is. 2 hands, it's pretty easy here. And this is obviously a lot easier on the left when I have room to work. So there we are. So once you get that to crack off with these, it's normally all you need. Alright, let's get out from around the lines and crap. Alright. Oh, I can see that the oil is done draining, so we'll get to that now. Alright, so that's felt good enough, I think. Really anything coming out. Now my service kit actually came with a brand new bolt and washer, so I'm going to use a new one. This is just a kit I bought off of Fleabay. So that's I got new parts. I might as well use them, right? As long as they work. There's nothing really wrong with the old bolt. I would have changed the gasket, but let's stick this guy back in. And when you snug these up, you want it just kind of enough just to kind of crush the copper washer. We don't want to over tighten them. Because you actually can deform it and it'll actually leak. So you want to go just tight, tighten, and then just a little bit more. And that's it for that. Okay, now the oil filter, just up in there. So I get my bucket underneath because it will come down. It will make a mess because it's right above this frame rail. If you want, because then you can get a bit of cardboard or a piece of plastic underneath there, but it's up to you. Or just make a mess like I'm going to do. So I'm going to crack this open. So once I've cracked it, you can do it with my finger, my hand. I'm going to actually go around to the other side and go underneath so I can get it, because I have to get it out the back. So if you do this at home on your back, it's a bit more of a pain than this in the shop. So shops can get stuff done faster. It's just designed like that way. I'm gonna go grab it. Alright. Hopefully you can see that from there. Hopefully you can hear me. Now, this is a tight ass area to put this in. Yeah, for eggs would be a good idea. Right. That's why wearing gloves is a good idea, but you don't want to get your hands too dirty, oily. This is diesel oil, so it doesn't have to get dirty. It'll most likely stain my hands. Alright, sneak it out past the lines and stuff here. This is where engineers do stuff to tick off mechanics. Alright, so I'm going to drop that right in there. Or retrieve that later. Grab my rag. Okay. New filter. Here she is. All lovely. Got a little plastic cover on there to just keep dirt and crap out. Now, there's been discussion. I was on a mechanics forum a while back about if you grease oil these or not. I usually find you can see if they're pre-oiled a little bit. Usually they'll have like the plastic cover and you'll see like a bit of a film on them. They tend to be more the O-ring round ones. This one here, if you look, it's more of a flat one. These ones here need to be oiled, okay? There's some mechanics that you don't need to oil them. Just oil them, okay? And it'll do is it'll stop them seizing on. See how easily that last one came on? It was most likely had been oiled. See, this one does a thin little layer of oil around like that. Wipe it off, and then up it goes. No, and go up this way. See this? I have to go the other way, and it's a pain. So, but we'll get it up there. So yeah, we'll put this on, spin it on. Once it touches, we're gonna go as tight as we can by hand, and that's it. All right, you don't want to crank it on. You don't need to use these to put them back on. All right, all you're gonna do is just gonna over torque it. You can actually pull the threads out in the filter. Or you can damage the threads on the block on the oil filter housing there. So don't just put them on as tight as you can by hand. Crank it up till it's nice and tight. You can't turn it anymore by hand, and leave it. Okay, that's always. I've never had a problem with that. Another thing is when it's like this is square filter, just always just put your hand up on here on the filter housing, and just make sure that the O-rings come off. And usually if you put it on dry, sometimes they'll actually seize onto the block, onto where the oil filter goes. And then if you get double sealed, then it'll leak it'll just piss out like crazy. So make sure, just double check. You usually can tell because you can hear it. You'll feel it, it'll fight to come off, or it'll make a squeaking noise sometimes. But if this thing here, I was pretty sure, but you just want to double check anyways. Word of caution. Alright, so I squeeze it up in there as you can, because KIA decided to make this one a bit hard to get to. And put it in a silly place. Right, so you just want to feel it. I'll go on my hand, spin it up. Feel this tight. Grab a rag if you want, if you feel like your grip isn't the best because you got oil on your hands like I do. And we're gonna reach up in there as you can. Your rag doesn't get caught on crap. You just want it snug with your hand. You don't want to hulk it on there. You don't need to be all mad on it. Okay. You use your rag that you just use to tighten that up. I'm going to give it a bit of a clean. It's always an idea if you're somewhere that has a power washer and oil, there's no oil underneath the vehicle already, like this little beast, is to give it a bit of a wash. Get a power wash on it. Right. Push the bucket out of the way. Don't need that anymore, really. So here, I'm washing off any oil that I've tried to get on there. Give it a good clean. Try not to leave too much oil residue. Alright, so you can always give it a clean with a. You know, if you've got brake clean, that works, like parts cleaner, work at a shop, or if you got something like that in your home shop. Alright, that's done there. Just gonna give it a little, make sure to check it with my hand a little one more time. That's tight. Okay, oil filter here, oil pan, the sump. I'm gonna call it. Okay, and there we are. Call that good. Now this particular vehicle, this for anybody who's gathering, I have no idea when last time oil was changed was done on service. Service book says several years. I don't. Hopefully it wasn't that long, but I can't say. but I will be marking the service book, so that is marked in there. I know last time at the service. Depending on where you live, depends on your service intervals. If you live in more of a, if you live in North America, like the northern part of Canada, northern states, you probably do this every 3 months. If you live in other places like the UK, I think it's recommended once a year. Our climate doesn't change that much. It's not super dusty, and we don't get extreme hot and cold temperature variations that some places get. If you live somewhere really dusty, like Saudi Arabia or something like that, then you probably want to do oil changes more often, because the oil gets dirtier faster. Now this is an old diesel anyways, and most likely I'll start it up, and after about a day or so, you'll never know I did the oil change on it. It'll look black and dirty and crap like that. But it's more to do with oil dilution and oil changes, because diesel pushes past the rings a little bit on any kind of diesels, especially so the little older ones, even the newer ones you do. And that's why you have oil dilution monitors on your vehicles, is to, I guess there's a certain point where it's manufacturer specific that says that the limit it needs to be changed, and it's to stop, because you'll actually have a bit of fuel in your oil thinning it down. And that is why a lot of the older diesels, old ones, like my old Delica, they used a heavier weight oil to counter that. So you'd have a heavy oil that could take oil dilution, you dilute down, but still have enough properties to be able to lubricate the engine. So that's why they used to use like 1540 oil or 1040 oil in old diesels. But the new ones now, they're a lot more tighter tolerances. Like this year's uses 530. C3, I believe, is the ACE spec. But some of the newer ones have different things, low ash, blah blah blah. This does have DPF on it, but I think the DPF has been fine. I think it's done. I do a lot of mileage down motorway in this, so I don't actually have to worry so much with DPF. I don't have urea or AdBlue or anything like that on it. That's good, because it's just another thing you have to worry about filling up or servicing or having problems with. Alright, so let's get cracking on here. I'm going to throw the oil in it, and then we're going to get cracking on the fuel filter. Alright, so the specs on this is 8.2 liters. Okay, straight in there. This is the oil that I'm using. It came with just like I said, I bought a kit that had everything I needed in it. KIA Sorento. So yeah, I think it should work. Should be fine. Okay, so I need 8.2 liters. Filter is the funnel that I'm knocking around. I use for stuff like this because the hole is quite shallow. So we'll have to see how that goes. Sometimes you have to fill these really slow. Some vehicles are faster. I can't remember on this KIA Sorentos how well they are for filling. I know some of like the Ford Fiesta, and some of them, they worse, they're slow fill, they're a pain. Right. I'll film this just in case anybody's curious. Hopefully. Hold this because it's not the best fit. Now this funnel is got a screen in it, so if any foreign objects and stuff like that get in, they stay on this side of the screen and don't go in the engine, which is why I kind of like this funnel. And I do clean it out, give it a good clean if I'm doing any kind of automatic gearbox stuff, because it has an attachment that goes on it, which is it's nice to have that screen. I'll give it a good clean out and make sure it's all clean and dry before I use it for that. But having that screen in there is just a nice little bit of safety. Not like there should be anything inside this bottle anyways, but it's 8.2. So like 5.28, there's 5 liters in this here, 5.28 quarts. So I need to do this one plus just over half of the next one. And they do actually have a measure on the side. I can show you there, just to show you how much you've used. So I can use the 5 out of this, and then I can just account for the 8.2. And I have some left over in case of top-ups, because like I said, this taking the oil leak started on this. It's nice that I can check the oil and top it up if needed. It's not a massive oil leak, it's not enough to affect the yearly inspection yet, but I don't like the oil leaking out of my car. Even though there's one way of like making sure the oil's always fresh, isn't it? Not saying it's a good thing, just saying it's, you know, silver lining and all. As well as a anti-corrosion underneath the vehicle. If you've got oil coming out, well then I guess underneath your vehicle is going to stay nice and lubricated now, isn't it? Can't rust if it's all oily. I know, I'm just making up excuses. The cope is real. Used to have an old Suburban that had the 4L60 automatic transmission. Anybody who's in North America know what I'm talking about. That stupid thing leaked all the time. It actually leaked the case. Eventually I found it. But I tell you what, the underbody of that Suburban, clean as a whistle, man. That thing was always nice and looked nice and lovely. Not a spot of rust. That chassis, that underbody was solid as could be. And constantly lubricated. So that's 5 liters there, so you got 3.2 liters. So we're gonna go this one 5, 1, 2, 3 and a quarter. So I'll have 1 liter and 3/4 left. Right, that was 10 liters I got, so it's actually sticking on there better than I thought it would. So the main thing with the screen is it does make the filter be a bit of a slow fill. But it helps stop it making a mess on the engine. It's a real pain in the ass when you miss, it overfills, goes over the top of your engine, intake and all that, and you got oil all over the top of your engine, and it smokes and stinks, and you gotta try to get the cover off and try to clean it out, and if it fills up in some galleries and stuff like that, it's just never fun. You know, get suction out and everything else. What are we at now? Just under 3.5 left. The bottle. So about 2.25 left in the bottle. So I need to go down to I have a 1 liter and 3/4, so about 1/2 liter more. That should be alright. Right, it's about a tiny bit more. That should give us where we want to be. You see it in the camera, but it's just under the 2. And just right in there. Stick it at the top there so it drain out. Alright, and the cap. And then what I do now is start the engine and I tick over for a minute, shut it off, then dip and make sure that oil, and then also make sure I have no leaks. I'll have a look underneath, any like new leaks. In this case of this vehicle here, make sure. So that's looking nice there. Oil filter won't be leaking until like, where's the leak? Until I actually ran the engine. So actually what I should have done, and I'm gonna tell you right now, well, if it was easier to get the oil filter in there and didn't have to fight with it the way it sat, I would recommend have put a bit of oil, take off, so however much it holds, take that from your off your total. So I still use 8.2, take that off, and fill the oil filter. So oil filter takes half a liter, take half a liter off to 8.2, and then what you do is it stops the engine from cavitating, where you have where it runs for a little bit and you have no oil pressure going through, because the oil filter set up and down. But with that having to fight and get in there, priming the filter probably wouldn't have worked on this. I said I've worked on, like, I have an old Mitsubishi Delica. Oil filters are straight, easy to get to, and that takes a liter in oil filter just to fill that filter up. I always fill it up first, because it's just, you need a liter of oil before, it has to fill up before that engine's going to be receiving oil pressure to the top end, and it just saves some excess wear. But on this thing here, if you're able to do it, it just helps save some excess wear in the engine. There is still going to be some oil residue and stuff in the top end. It's not like this vehicle sat for months and months or years and years and all the oil is drained down. So it's probably not a big deal, but I always like to just do it just because it's just an extra little step that, it's not going to hurt. It's just, it's going to be acted like if it had already been running with running oil going through it. So, but I get this wheels back on. I did notice on this that this shock key is actually leaking. I don't know how this thing passed MOT, to be honest, because right there, that's not new. And yeah, this thing came with a clean ticket, so dodgy MOT. It happens you buy from used car dealers. But, so I wasn't too worried about little things like that, because I'm able to do them. If it was a regular person, then, and I wasn't able to do this, I'd be probably a bit ticked off that, and the fact the turbo's worn on this thing, I'd probably be taking it back and getting my money back. But the guy's like an hour, 2 hours drive, and then he'd probably take the vehicle back off me, and then I'd be stuck with my vehicle. So that does somebody come following me up. And we do like this car, so the wife actually bought it, so I will fix it, and then it will be good, and then I will know what's wrong with this vehicle and what's wrong with the vehicle, and I will know that it's fixed properly with decent quality parts. Alright, let's get going here and go on the oil filter. Alright, so onto the fuel filter. First thing I'm going to do is get off the cover, engine cover. Fuel filter, because there's a lot more access. And now, fuel filter is just down in there. Now they're a bit of a pain in the ass to get to here, mainly because just access. Really can't get to them from the bottom, I don't think. I don't think. If you have to go to the bottom, I'm going to regret the fact that I just put this on the ground, but we'll see. Actually, I think if I remember doing this right, when I worked at KIA, sure we took these completely out. Took this unit out. I think. I'm sure we did. And just take the lines off. Yeah, I think so. So let's get that. I think I do remember that. On some of the Sportages and stuff. So plug just down the back here for the sensor. You unplug that. Don't forget to plug that back in. this whole unit comes out. I gotta take those 2 lines off, and then there's 2 bolts here. I'll hold it in. Whole unit comes out, and then we can take it off. So that's the theory, I think. I'm sure we used to do that. We used to have to use a vise, but we'll figure out a way around it. Right. This guy here. I worked at Hyundai and Kia for a while, so, but it's been a while since I worked at Hyundai and Kia, if you know what I mean. Alright, so yeah, let's pull those lines there off. These guys should come off here. And yeah. And this guy here, whole unit comes out. Oh, I have another plug there on the back. There's 2 plugs. Right. And a sensor there. Boop. Yeah, go on. Hit me with the fact that, oh, your camera skills are crap. Yep, yeah. Ooh. And the 3rd one. Yeah, see, it's been a while since I worked on these darn things. So. Come on, you. What is this actually? This guy here. What is it? Yeah, sorry about that. I'm hitting this camera today. I'm just having problems, aren't I? Hitting the camera today. Come on out. I'm trying to reach around the camera. Plug this buddy. There you are. Alright. So this unit out. I just need to replace that there. So I get this unit off the top. And I get that off the bottom. As well as this has to undo as well. You can see that. Where are we here? Here we are. Oh, too far. So we undo that there. Because that's going to come off. Okay, so take that off there. This guy here. This is the sensor for the, let you know if there's water in your fuel. Does that come out? This will make a mess. So I dump this into the. So let's rinse all the diesels out of that now. So here's a little thing that's kind of figured out here, because normally I've done this, I've been like in a shop. I just put this whole thing in the vice, held it down, and we're good to go. But I've put it in here, put it on the lugs, on the bolts that holds it down. Push down, use a claw. Got a different one here, it's a bit smaller because the last one's a bit too big. And from that, I was able to hold on to it and get the filter loose. Once the filter's loose, just pop it out here. I'll just set it on those things just to hold it. So, and we can now get it off by hand. I'm going to take this over top of the drain here. More fluid, more fuel will probably come out. So. Right. That's off. There we are. want to make sure that little rubber seal there, got in there, in the middle comes off with the filter. It doesn't stay on there. Here's the new filter. Rubber seals there. And that just spins on just like the oil filter. You don't have to oil this one up. When you're doing these, make sure this ring doesn't spin on you, because sometimes they will come loose and spin. Right. Same as your fuel filter, oil filter. Give it a good crank with your hand. Good to go. Put the sensor on and install. The little thingy comes out there. We grab the sensor. There's the sensor there. Give it a good clean. Make sure it's nice and clean. Gasket, everything's on it. And that just spins on until it's nice and tight. Not too tight because it's only plastic. Just on just enough where you feel the rubber touch, and then just give it a little snug up. I'll stick this over here. Camera centered there. Hopefully it doesn't go anywhere. It's on tight. Right. Feed it down in there, like so. Right. Make sure you're grabbing plugs, wires and stuff like that. There's a couple in there. Let's see here. Check it out what I'm doing here. 1, 2, there should be 3. 1, 2. And the third one, let's plug it off of me there. There it is. Okay. Okay. So I'll grab them. This bad boy back on there. Okay. Actually, I might pull it out first. Easier to get the plugs in, I think. Something loose on that car. On there. One here, we get it around there. Come on, you. Swing it around. Plug in there. Right. Happy days. I'm gonna tighten that up real quick. That's kind of where I want it, so. No nut on the back of that. I'm gonna hold that with my hand. It's just enough just to hold that strap on there. It's not really holding much, so. Get that back in there. Bring this around. Plug it on the side here. Easier to do it once. No. Just be the pain, that's all. Can't be second guessing myself there for a second. And there you go. There it shows. Okay. Put the fuel lines back on. Big one on the big one, small on the small one. Not difficult. One there. One there. Fires. Go you. One there. Like that. Some of these times these clips are the best. I prefer Jubilee clips. Okay, so once it's done there, you'll pump this guy up until it starts getting hard. It can take a while. Getting there. Should be good. So yeah, just keep pumping it until it gets nice and hard. You can feel it. I'll show you what I mean. So you pump it up here. You can feel it start getting hard. And give it a start. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. There we are. So I'll let it run for a minute there. just going to check the oil filter. Oil level, I mean, oil filter, oil level. That was a fuel filter, by the way, not the oil filter. I know I said that earlier, but I just done. Pop it up like this. It's just below the full, not too bad. And I just had it running and it's tilting that way a little bit, so I'm going to leave it just there, it's just below full line, which means it's within spec, is within where you want to have to be. So as you can see, the oil already looks kind of dirty, but that's right. I'll just write it in the service book so I remember, I know when it was done. And I think the spec on it, so when I looked it up, was something like 15,000 miles or 12 months recommended. I don't know, 7,500 miles or 6 months in extreme conditions. That's what it says on the site that I use. Okay, so we'll get the little beauty cover back on, and then we'll do the last bit, which is the pollen filter. Alright, so doing the pollen filter. This pollen filter comes in different pieces. The key is this is dead easy, and there's no excuse for any mechanic or anybody not to do it. Open the glove box, like so. Don't touch too much because my wife is going to kill me. A little tab here. Push this. I'm going to pull it out and push it up at the same time. Where is it? Oh, yeah, let's pull it. Sorry. So pull it out. You're going to pull it out and pull it. You're going to pull it out and then pull it forward. The box comes down. Right? Easy peasy. Pollen filters on this one, some of the other keys are even easier. It's right here. See the door right there? Yeah, it's right in there. Dead easy, right? This thing here, when I had done this, these things are that packed, you can get anything through them. And it's going to burn the freaking it'll burn the motors up. This is actually in better condition than it was when I first took them out. That's what it should look like. That's what's come out of this. There's two of them. Slide it over, pop it out. See? So that's just coming through our vents. Well, so I've actually cleaned them out somewhat. They were clean. They were like so fold like that. And yeah, if you don't, it can actually burn up the heater motors, the blower fan in the heater box, and you need a lot more money. But how easy this is, open this back, we'll open this up, I'll show you. Let's see if I can get my camera on this. Right. Back up. Okay. This is simple. One of the simplest ones to do. Now some of the French ones, they are ball-ache. Some of them, they change it from, if you're in the right-hand drive vehicle, left-hand driver's side, and it's just, you have to actually cut part of the dash up to get them out. Kias, no. See, easy peasy, right? Take this out. Fold that guy out. There is actually a direction on these. So you see this? Airflow. That's the way the air flows. So you want it going this way because the air is going to flow in from the top to the bottom. It's airflow, right? Oop. Actually looked at that again. So going like that, okay? This is the top. Pop in like that. And try not to do some dirty hands like I'm doing it, but working on a customer's car. Yeah, have clean hands. Do this first before doing the service. It's a 2-minute job. Right. Push it out, make sure it's all sealed around the sides. I'm using the blueprint one here. This one came with the kit. Easy, right? I don't know what the brand is, the ones that came out. No branding on them. Same deals again. Airflow going down. Push underneath the tabs. Right. So anything going past the filter. Right. I know it doesn't affect the running of the vehicle, but I said it will affect how much air you have coming through, as well as it will affect your defog and stuff like that. Okay, so Once those are in like that, easy, in like this. First one goes in. That. Let's push it in. Just nice and straight. You'll feel it. See, like that. Slide it over. Next one, same deal. Open it beside it. There's actually a groove in the side. You can see grooves in like that. Put the door in. There you go. With two hands, don't have to use the camera. It's like literally a 5-minute job. So people replacing bloody pollen filters, especially stuff like Kias and Hyundais, where it's like a 5-minute job and it pays really well. Just do it. Push that in. There. There's supposed to be two normally in this. Usually there's another one on the other side. This car didn't have it when I bought the vehicle. That there is how you do a major service on a Kia. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click the like button, like and comment down below. And look for next time where we'll be doing some more stuff on this vehicle, because there's several things he's doing on it. So let's make a project and let's make some videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.